Hey guys, it's Aiden. Sorry, I didn't realize I was recording. I'm still learning on these things. I'm actually sitting outside my new apartment in Westbury, New York. I just woke up, so I apologize for how I look. But I wanted to do a little update because I got my shot this morning, again at about 5 o'clock this morning. And I wanted to talk a little bit about clitoral growth, and I figured I'm here and I'm outside, and why not freak out the neighbors a little bit? So my objective of this one was just talk a little bit about something that I've been learning about in my Psychology of Women class. As a psychology student, you need to learn about both genders to really be able to become a gender psychologist. So my objective was to take this class to just learn as much about women as I could, because even as growing up as a woman, I don't know much. So basically what we've been learning about in class is that we learned about the difference between men and women, and how men are put on a pedestal versus what people know about men versus what people know about women. And we talked about the size, the difference in size between the male penis and the female's clitoris, or female-bodied people have a clitoris and male-bodied people have a penis. And it was basically the fact that it was like 95% of society, 95% of society knows what size the average penis is, but like 2% of society knows what size the average clitoris is, and how terrible it is that most women don't even know what the average clitoris is, let alone the actual size of their own. So while I was with my doctor today, we were talking a little bit about it, and I wanted to learn more about like why clitoral growth happens and what testosterone does to it, and I thought it was really interesting to learn as much as I could about what I've been going through, because the truth is, we all go through these transitions, and although we really do learn a lot, I apologize for my hair, we really do learn a lot, and I think you learn so much about your body when you go through a transition like this, and you learn so much about who you are. At the same time, some of this stuff you go through it, and it becomes kind of like an autopilot, and you don't really 100% understand, or not that you don't understand, but you don't really pay attention to every single thing that happens, because it's something that you do constantly. So you stop looking at changes. I stopped looking at facial hair growth because it became an autopilot. It became something that I already had. I stopped focusing on. So I actually, when I started growing my chest hair, and it started coming up here, and now the beard and the chest hair connect a little, one given time. Keep in mind, this is only 3 days without shaving down here. Maybe 4, but something like that, 3 or 4 days without shaving my neck, and it's already become kind of beastly. I just think that these things, because they become autopilots, we stop thinking about them, and we kind of become the men that we are, and we lose track of following things. And I think one of the huge positives of our community is the fact that we document everything, and I love that. And you'll notice if you're trans that every single person does it. We all document. You document hair growth. You document how long it takes you to stop your period. You document how long you've been on testosterone constantly, your vocal changes, your change in physical appearance, where hair growth is on your body versus how much you're going on your face. I see that a lot. One of the things that I documented was the change in my feet size, which was something my doctor said he usually doesn't see, is a change in your feet size. But when I transitioned, I was an 8 shoe size in men's, and now I'm an 11, more like an 11.5, which is kind of cool. Coming from a 10 women's was an 8 in men's. So I think, we document these things constantly. We're always paying attention to our own changes. And when we go on autopilot, we kind of lose that ability to focus on every change that happens, because we're so focused on just being the men that we are and who we really feel comfortable being. So I thought that was really an interesting thing when I started thinking about my clitoral growth and clitoral size, because I stopped caring. I stopped thinking about it. And I missed a shot. I missed 2 shots last month, unfortunately, and you can't really see increasing growth if you miss these shots. And I stopped thinking about how missing a shot was going to affect me, because I act so much like a man. I got too much of my male autopilot, and I stopped caring. And I think that's really a terrible thing on my own part. But I think, like I said, one of the amazing things about our community is that we really. Sorry, my girlfriend's texting me. We really document everything, and we care so much about our changes, and I do believe that is an amazing thing, and I am so glad that we do it. And that's why I thought it was really important to talk about how little we know about our own bodies and how much more we should know, and how much we do and don't know about our partner's bodies. Because there are things I don't know about my partner's body, and I'm sure there are things out there that you guys don't discuss with your partners because they're kind of difficult to bring up. They're difficult to make into a form of discussion. But really, my objective here was to talk about my doctor's appointment this morning and to talk about how I'm noticing things like it's actually getting to the point where there are times in the day that you get like clitoral erections, and they happen just like male erections all the time, and most women don't notice when they happen, but trans guys, the larger the clitoris gets, the more often you realize that it's happening, and it actually begins to part the labias and rub against your boxers, and that's usually the point where you'll begin to realize that your clitoris is growing, because before that it doesn't make much change. I mean, you see it size-wise, but you never really feel it until it starts to part the labias. And that's kind of the point that I'm at, and I think it's really cool. It's not something I talk about often. I talk about it in public all the time. I'm a very open person. I'm sure you guys can tell that, and I definitely know everyone who knows me can tell that. But sex is sex, and bodies are bodies, and there's something that you should be proud of, and it really became something that I needed to be able to be open about to accept myself. So although it's not something that I discuss often, because clitoral size and the idea of having a clitoris kind of bugs me, but it is something that I think is important for us to discuss. Just because we're female-bodied doesn't mean that it has to affect us as men at all. So really that's where I was going with this conversation, and I hope that it went where it was supposed to go. If you guys have any questions, please post comments below. I'm really trying to stay on YouTube, and I'm really trying to stay active. So again, any questions, and I will do everything possible to answer and get you guys any kind of help you need. Thanks.